For everything Indiana sports, this is Fox 59 Sports Overtime.
Good evening. Welcome to the Friday edition of Fox 59 Sports Overtime. Pacers playoffs, poll day at the Speedway. Can it get much better than that for a Saturday in Central Indiana? We'll do our very best to prepare you for that action-packed doubleheader tomorrow. A poll day preview and much more. Of course, plenty to get to on the big show tonight. Indy 500 discussion. We'll take you to Fast Friday. We'll also visit with the Pacers. Are they reeling emotionally after that Game 5 loss to the Knicks? TV voice of the Pacers, Chris Denari, helps set the stage for Game 6 at Bankers Life Fieldhouse in just a few minutes. Also tonight, we'll check in with Simon Pagenaud, the French driver for Schmidt-Peterson Motorsports, and how he spent his morning. Just a hint, it involves some very good food. We will begin with the news of the day involving your Indiana Pacers. Blue and gold back at practice this afternoon. Everyone except point guard George Hill. First, let's take you back to Tuesday's Game 4. First quarter, Tyson Chandler's elbow connects with Hill. He goes down briefly, but gets up. The play continues. Hill continues. Chandler was not called for a foul of any kind. He actually scored on the play. Now, I remember seeing this, fearing a concussion, but George did not look any worse for the wear. Continued on, had a great game, but did have concussion-like symptoms a day later. Diagnosed with a concussion, missing Game 5 Thursday against the Knicks. Frank Vogel updating the situation this afternoon.
He'll take the concussion test again later today. So, still no updates.
I mean, well, George is real poised. You know, he's a veteran at that point guard position, and you know he's the real extension of Coach. You know, he gets us in the sets, and you know he makes sure everybody's on the same page.
Everybody's always got to be ready, you know, for you know, if somebody gets hurt, for somebody to step up. And as a coach and staff, you know, we prepare the same way.
Pacers fans, sit tight. Much more on the blue and gold in about 90 seconds. First, a quick update on the day at the Speedway. Quite a bit of anticipation for Fast Friday. Everybody interested to see what the extra horsepower would mean. 230 miles per hour, a bit of a magic number and a target for the Andretti Autosport guys. They seemed to go after it. They were getting a little bit of help once again from a toe, but still super fast. Marco Andretti atop the speed chart, 228.754. Then teammate EJ Viso one-ups him, 229.537. Oh, so close to 230. Still the fastest practice lap at IMS since Scott Dixon's 230 in 2003. Unfortunately, the rain would keep anyone from shooting for that mark during happy hour. Rain interrupting action about 3 o'clock. The number one spot on Fast Friday belonging to EJ Viso.
We've shown that we have a very strong team, a very strong car as a team, and we've done all that all week long. Today was a little simulation of how qualifying is going to look. Anyways, we know that some other guys are going to go faster tomorrow, and we believe that we are on the same page. We still can trim the car a little bit more. Today was a great day, almost hitting the 230 mark. It's a good achievement out there.
No surprise to seeing the Andretti Autosport guys atop the speed chart. Michael's guys actually 1, 2, 3. Will Power fast even without a toe. He might be Penske's best shot at the pole. Panther Racing's J.R. Hildebrand checks in fifth. The Indy 500 qualifying draw, not quite as big of a deal as the post-position draw at the Kentucky Derby, but still a fun event this afternoon. Ed Carpenter having his children help draw numbers. Ed actually pulls the 1 slot, but it was for the 40 car, which will not actually attempt to qualify this weekend. So Scott Dixon pulled the 2, thus Dixie should be the first car off the grid just after 11 a.m. tomorrow.
We'll constantly work hard, whether it's for qualifying or race. You know, and last year we knew we didn't have the speed to go for pole, so we obviously you know, focused maybe a little bit more on race stuff. But generally we're going to try and cover both bases, and you know, see how we come out. But yeah, we'll really just have to see how it goes.
All right, much more from the Speedway in just a little bit, but let us talk about your playoff Pacers. Friend of the program, my friend Chris Denari, TV voice of the Indiana Pacers, in the studio. It's been an action-packed playoff season. You guys broadcast some of the games to start the playoffs. Now you're working the post-game shows as well. And Game 6, does it get much better than this?
It does not get much better than this, especially Pacers and Racers. I'm really excited. And tomorrow night at Game 6, the Pacers took home court advantage. I spent some time with Paul George today. He said, we did our work early in the series, and they did, winning Game 1. Now they have a chance to close out the Knicks tomorrow night.
And this is a team that has played without George Hill during the regular season. Still probably wait until tomorrow, and day-to-day is his current status. Do you think they're equipped to beat the Knicks even if George Hill cannot play on Saturday?
I think so, because what I saw last night, the Pacers didn't play very well, and I thought the Knicks didn't take advantage of that. And I think the Pacers have been a very good home team. They won 30 games in the regular season. They're unbeaten in the 5 previous playoff games, all by double-digit margins. I think it caught them off balance, not knowing until about 4 o'clock they have a day, now a night, and a shoot-around. I think back to some of the games they played without George Hill. DJ Augustine played well. What it did last night, JJ, I just thought we saw some combinations we're not used to seeing, especially in the postseason. And I'm sure Frank Vogel now has some time to think about what he's going to do in those situations.
Well, let's take you to practice this afternoon, Bankers Life Fieldhouse. As you might expect this time of year, not a real intense session. Obviously, maybe working on a little bit of plays, a little bit of adjustments that Frank Vogel might make compared to the Knicks. And this was a team Tuesday night that was so confident after that 3-1 series lead. I asked Paul George if that confidence still exists now that the series is 3-2.
It's still there. It's still there. You know, going into New York, you know, it was still there. But, you know, we got to feel great, you know, about playing in front of our home crowd. No, it's not going to be easy and it's not going to be given to us, but, you know, we got to feel good to play here.
You know, we feel like we have the plan to beat the New York Knicks. We just got to execute it, and we're all very much looking forward to Game 6.
Paul George, Frank Vogel, expressing quite a bit of confidence, and I think that the team still is confident. Did you talked about the Knicks, that you did not think that they really took advantage of the game, that, you know, they're not going to come in all of a sudden a brand new team, because they were really down on themselves after Game 4.
I do think what they did do in the second half, you saw no Stoudemire and no Kidd. Mike Woodson took those former All-Stars and kept them on the bench and brought in Copeland, who has hurt the Pacers at times this year in the regular season, had 13 points last night. So give the Knicks some credit. Their defensive pressure has hurt Indiana in this series. It just wasn't in Game 5. The Pacers, especially if they don't have George Hill, will have to be able to deal with that. I think Frank Vogel said today when he was talking to the media, we've got to make things simpler. We have some counters that we can run so that we don't get shut down offensively like we saw the other night.
And really, except for maybe a few anxious Sam Young moments, the bench has played pretty well in this series, especially considering the fear maybe that some had in this series compared to the regular season. So the bench could be a big factor again tomorrow.
Yeah, they don't have to win. They don't have to outscore the Knicks bench, but they've just got to hold the fort down. And I think last night, you know, Indiana was forced to use combinations and more bench guys together than Frank Vogel would want to use in the playoffs.
DJ Augustine, one of those bench players who's had a good series, might be starting on Saturday night. DJ talked after practice today.
I'm just going to let the game come to me. You know, I'm not going to force anything. Just my teammates and my coaches want me to shoot when I'm open, and that's all I'm going to try to do. You know, we just know we have to do, make adjustments, stay locked in, and play defense, and that'll be the key to the game.
And another key, this game at Bankers Life Fieldhouse. 5 playoff games, each of them double-digit victories. And there's times this season where maybe George Hill, maybe one guy would call out, you know, we need some more fans here. But I would say that the atmosphere has been incredible, and this is really a home court advantage for the Pacers right now.
It has been terrific. I think there's about 500 tickets left. That was as of 3:30 earlier this afternoon in the club level. So still, there should be a chance for you, if you want to get to the game, to get there tomorrow. They've done a great job in the 3 games against Atlanta, the 2 games against New York. That crowd really helps this team play. I think that will be a big advantage for the Pacers tomorrow night. It's another gold out. You'll find a gold shirt on your chair, so that'll be the second that you'll get. You can have that collection.
You have a gold sport coat?
I do. I've worn it, and I believe I'll be bringing it out again tomorrow night. It's not one of those old gold,
right,
but it's got gold in it, yeah.
Right, well, Chris Denari will be on the post-game show on Fox Sports Indiana after the broadcast, and he's also busy tomorrow at the track. We'll talk with Chris about that in a minute. Let's once again set the stage. Game 6, Bankers Life Fieldhouse. The game starts at 8 o'clock or a little bit after on ESPN. Chris will have some post-game coverage on FS Indiana. A chance for the Pacers to finish off this series and advance to the Eastern Conference Finals where the Miami Heat are waiting. So I said, Chris, sit tight, because before Chris even goes to Bankers Life Fieldhouse, he'll be at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. We'll prep for poll day and also check in with Connor Daly when Fox 59 Sports Overtime continues.